Alright guys, so last time in the anime, our gang rolled into a village bone dry because the neighboring town was hogging all the water, refusing to open reservoir gates. But before Yulishia could even think about going there, Kurt had already dug a wellspring and filled the whole lake. The grateful villagers gave them eggs. And Kurt was all set to whip up an omelet, and meanwhile, Lisa got herself into a bit of a pickle. She'd gone to the marquee near the frontier town to give him the lowdown on recent events. But he suddenly decided to make the new Atelier master the viceroy of his town. Poor Lisa couldn't say no. So that's one headache at hand, and then comes another one. One of those eggs got hatched, and from it popped a human baby. Yulishia was ready to kill her off, thinking it might be some kind of monster, but the little thing looked at her and Lisa like they were her mother, and Kurt like he was her dad, so they decided to keep an eye on her for now. But wouldn't you know, Yulishia got another job request from a villager, so she and Kurt headed out. And next thing they knew, Akuri was in their carriage. Nobody knows how she got here, but since she was along for the ride, Yulishia sent a message back home to let everyone know. Then, the person who asked for help started going on about how our gang is the legendary heroes party destined to defeat the Demon King. Papa and daughter were totally into it. But Mama was just confused. Turns out the real client showed up and apologized because her father-in-law wants to be a wannabe prophet and pulls this kind of thing all the time anyway. She was really touched seeing a newlywed couple with a baby. Yulishia got all flustered, but Kurt thought she didn't like what the lady said. So he asked her what was wrong, and she showed him her pigs weren't eating. Kurt figured it might be heat stroke and knew a fix, so while Kurt got to work, the lady took her father-in-law for a walk. Meanwhile, Yulishia was still totally stunned and hadn't moved an inch. Kurt, by the way, fixed things up, and the pigs were happy again. But Yulishia was still super shy about the whole wife of a younger guy thing, making her all jumpy. But then, she realized she wanted to protect this sweet soul she has feelings for, and suddenly, a dragon appeared and Yulishia tensed up. But Kurt told her to chill. This dragon wasn't a threat. He explained that in the countryside dragons often swing by for a share when people make livestock feed, plus it was just a baby dragon and Akuri was thrilled to see it. But then, Yulishia caught a whiff of blood from another direction. She got on guard and went to investigate and found an injured phantom guard of Mimiko who was protecting them from shadows. Suddenly, Kurt heard sword clashes and rushed over to Yulishia, and the attacker demanded they hand over the child. Kurt thought she was a dragon hunter who's after the baby dragon, and since it was dangerous, Yulishia told Kurt to get away with Akuri. The baby dragon whisked him away, and Yulishia stayed behind to deal with this woman. The attacker was way stronger than Yulishia, putting her at a huge disadvantage. Yulishia was easily overwhelmed, but she used her wits to get back in the fight. She tried to ask why the woman was after the baby dragon, but the woman wouldn't answer. Yulishia also worried she might be after Akuri, since she hadn't specified which child. Then Yulishia took a nasty cut to her stomach. It was a close call, but she held on. The client thought she heard a loud noise, but brushed off as her imagination. But Yulishia used a magic stone Kurt had given her to take down the woman, but she survived and came back. Her cloak falls off to reveal she is a demon. Demons were way stronger than humans, and there hadn't been a sighting in century. But the demon knew Yulishia had beaten one before, so Yulishia got even more worried about her motives. She silently wished for Kurt and Akuri to get home safe because she didn't think she would make it back. But of course, Kurt had to come back, making her even more anxious. The dragon baby dropped Kurt midway, but he got back to save Yulishia. He called his pig buddies to create a smokescreen for their escape. Yulishia was furious at him for coming back, but Kurt said he couldn't leave someone precious to him behind. That hit Yulishia right in the heart because she knew Kurt saw her as a friend, which she appreciated, but she wanted more. Just then, the demon lady stopped them with a fire spell and was ready to cast another. Yulishia grabbed Kurt's dagger, ready for a last stand. She planned to cut through the flames, something she had never done before, but she had to succeed this time. She tried, but the demon manipulated the flames, bringing them back together. And suddenly, Akuri popped up on top of Yulishia, and seeing her, the demon just dispelled the spell. Talk about a shocker. She'd been so bloodthirsty just moments before, and Yulishia figured it had to be Akuri. But the demon lady just vanished. Yulishia was in no shape to chase after her. It was a miracle she was still standing. So Kurt quickly gave her a healing potion, and it worked its magic. Akuri looked worried about her mama, which was kind of cute. But Yulishia and Kurt were both stunned because Akuri had just appeared out of thin air. Like she teleported. Usually you need a teleportation crystal for that, and there wasn't one around. They asked her how she did it, but the baby couldn't remember. Yulishia tried to jog her memory with baby talk, but it was too soon to expect an answer. They'd forgotten about the pigs who helped them escape. So Kurt quickly healed them up too, and fulfilled the client's request. But the client noticed Kurt was missing, and Yulishia made up some excuse. Well, Kurt had gone off to drop the baby dragon to safety, and they saw something on the way. Then, as night fell, Yulishia was heading back with Akuri, relieved that both Kurt and she were safe. But she asked Akuri if she had dispelled the fire, but she hadn't, and the demon's expression had been really strange. So, Yulishia knew she needed to find out more about Akuri's origins. Then, Kurt got back, but with an unexpected guest, the demon lady. Apparently, they found her dying in the forest. And Kurt is a pure soul, and couldn't just leave her, especially since she had spared Yulishia and Akuri. The lady knew she was a goner anyway, so she drank the healing potion Kurt offered, and that was that. So with their unusual guest, everyone made it back home safe and sound. There Kurt told Akuri to apologize to the others for making them worry, and she did as Papa told her. Lisa and the others were relieved, and normally Yulishia wouldn't let Lisa near Akuri, but she made an exception for today. And then a new guy stepped into the picture. Someone Yulishia hadn't expected. Lisa introduced him as their new Atelier master. And right there, our episode 8 comes to an end. So stay tuned to watch the next episode, and for that subscribe the channel, and hit the bell icon to never miss any of the updates. Till then,